StarCast is proudly sponsored by DoghouseSystems.com. If you use the code StarCast or Biscuit at checkout, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse system. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code StarCast and get 30% off plus free shipping on your entire order. And finally, SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Daily quotes from the StarCraft 2 community. The site may suck, but the quotes are sick. And make sure to go check out their t-shirts in their new store. Once again, that's SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com, and we thank them for their support. Sponsor an episode of StarCast at thestarcast.com.
Hell, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Biscuit.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 175th episode of StarCast. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, and with me, as always, is Kyle Fergusson. Kyle, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Pulled myself out of bed, all whatever the throat syrup is. I've forgotten at the moment. I'm completely insane. I've been sick all week, but I am here. I am alive. Let's do this thing tonight.
Nice.
It is 6 degrees outside. It is completely insane.
That's awesome. I've had a wicked dry throat all week, so I share just a smidgen of your pain. But I also had bronchitis directly after BlizzCon, so you had some catching up to do anyway on the sickness quota.
Right, I had some delays. You know, I had to take the Amtrak out at 5 a.m. this past Saturday to get out to see my grandma for her 90th birthday. So that was great. Got to see them. But of course, you know, train schedule's not as always so great. You get back in at midnight, picked up something funky on the train, but stayed up late that night before teaching Dills how to play Dota. That was fun.
Hell yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Well, we lost a lot of games, but... Oh, wait, no, you're talking about the time when we just coached. You actually used the proper coaching tools, and we did the AI game.
Exactly. Not when we just kind of threw them in there and see what would happen.
Yeah, which, by the way, not a good way to teach someone how to Dota.
No, not at all.
Not good.
It's interesting because that game has so many rules and just unspoken, spoken. I feel like if you watch one game of professional StarCraft, maybe you can kind of get the tone of how things are moving, or maybe the fact that it's just a one-on-one that doesn't matter because there's no team for you to, have to appeal to upon immediately entering the game.
You are not a detriment to anyone but yourself when you play poorly in StarCraft. When you play poorly in Dota, you're a detriment to 4 other people.
Yes, you're ruining 4 other people's hour.
Yeah.
With your awful, awful play. And what do you ruin in StarCraft? Maybe 20 minutes of your 3v3 that no one really takes seriously?
Yeah, if you play exactly. If you play bad in StarCraft, it's over really quick. Regardless of how you play in Dota, it's generally at least a 45-minute chunk of your time. So...
Well, I know we say this every time one of us gets a little ill, but man, you cannot play this game while under the weather.
No.
Tried. It was awful. Forgot to tech. And, of course, lost and went roaches because that's what you do when you're sick. You just load up on one unit because that's all you can manage. And when you forget to upgrade them and go against roaches yourself, it doesn't go so hot.
Yeah, I've been back in playing Zerg again. I'm almost to the point where I think I'll just consider myself a Zerg player, except when I'm playing with you. I think I'm to that tipping point where I enjoy playing Zerg more than Terran now.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think part of it is the best strategy and at least what is popular in the meta right now is Speedling Muta with some Banelings thrown in, and that's my favorite way to play Zerg. And it's just weird. I finally have this thing that's actually good that I can do on autopilot.
Well, you and I got to play a 2v2 this past week, and I was just completely tickled pink. I was thrilled to death, delighted beyond belief, because we got in a situation where we were just completely trouncing 2 Terrans locked in their base. So I got to go swarm host, and I've never been so pleased.
It was wonderful. I was in a random 3v3 this past week where I got to just hold down the U button and watch the Ultralisk parade march across the map.
Terrific.
That's my other favorite thing about the Speedling Mutalisk, because at the end game, if you get to the point where you're rich and really winning, you've already got the upgrades for Ultralisk, so why not start an Ultralisk Cavern?
That's always kind of been my issue with the Roach, Hydra, even Swarm hosts. And now that they took away now, as in like this is a recent thing, about 3/4 of a year ago when they took away upgrades to Infested Terrans, that really put a detriment in me getting that upgrade in the first place. Because if I want to go Broodlords or even Air in the first place, it's better to have the melee upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Man, it really has been, it's been almost a year now.
It's been a whirlwind of a year. It's hard to believe that an expansion actually came out this year because things have gotten pretty settled.
They're straight up. I would, in the nicest way possible, I would say things are a little stale.
Yeah, okay. I think that's absolutely fair to say. I mean, I'm still looking forward to that off-season patch that's incoming at some point where we're going to add more speed to the oracles for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But we are going to mess with...
Why not? They're clearly not fast enough.
Absolutely.
The problem,
there's not other units we need to encourage play with.
Right. The problem is that they're currently just slow enough where you can actually control them properly. What Blizzard would like to be is it's actually like controlling a car on which the brake line has been severed.
Honestly, I need some sort of ability to lock on my screen to them when I use them because otherwise they fly out of motion too fast. I absolutely have to take my hand over to the arrow keys in order to keep up while playing with an oracle.
Oh, geez. Wow. I haven't played with the arrow keys since we first got in the beta, and I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, well, it's an important
tool. I was like,
tool,
this is clearly the best way to move the screen, guys. Duh. Then everyone's like, dude, watch some Day 9s. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Who is this man sitting alone in his room talking at me? Why should I listen to him? Why should I listen to him? He's doing Hearthstone dailies now. What the hell's going on? My world is upside down.
Well, the whole world is upside down. A lot of StarCraft personalities have moved on to Hearthstone. A lot of people are, pretty upset about the current off season because, hey, they've been working all year. They're taking it completely off. We're still here for y'all guys. But
there's still, if today's tournament results section is any indication, there's still plenty going on. We had 3 tournaments this past week, even more than that, but 3 that we're going to talk about today.
We sure did, which is great because moving into the future, those may have actual WCS tie-ins. But without that, they've lost some of their power. A lot of it is what is the last tournament of the year that you can win is the big sort of fan motivation. Because if they make tons of money, other than feeling good for them, I don't care. Congratulate. I feel just as good for you that you got first place as if you got first place and got $10,000 out of the deal. I have been affected either way.
All right, Kyle. That's good.
For
me personally, I feel like DreamHack Winter was like the last big hurrah. But that's just because I'm a big DreamHack fan and GSL's over. With the exception of a little side tournament that they had this past weekend, but like proper,
which was fun.
Yeah,
but we had some players in the stake there that we were excited about.
Yeah, exactly. But like proper Code S. Plus, on top of that, I'm just so excited for next year's WCS now that Code S is back, like properly. We're not gonna do any of this switching bullshit. I don't have to pretend to care about OGN's broadcasts.
I think that's about 90% of my lamenting at the lack of StarCraft content right now. It's not that I can't just go to anywhere that's running tournaments. I mean, we had Red Bull, we had the Oz this past weekend, but you can go to spoiler-free SC on Reddit, and there's always a tournament every weekend, and a good one too. But it's the fact that GSL is not running that really just kind of takes the wind from my sails.
Yeah. Did you just call the ASUS tournament the Oz tournament?
Well, AUS, I'm good to go here.
All right, just to stimmy those emails,
Oh, well, thank you.
Had to call you out on that one. Anyways, let's talk some of the news from this week. Because just this afternoon, actually, Team Liquid posted a decent length interview with Mike Morhaime that they recently got to have.
Which I always get a little nervous when these interviews come out with Mike, because he was at the ground level once, but now you assume that the executives of Blizzard must be like so high in their tower that they can't really know what's going on the lower levels. It's all a lot of board meetings and shareholders.
I would agree with that if I didn't already have so much pre-knowledge about Mike Morhaime's utter obsession with professional StarCraft.
Yes.
I mean, this guy, you go to any major StarCraft tournament, you see pictures of the front row, and there's the CEO of Blizzard Entertainment, Mike Morhaime, just chilling right there in the front row, just nerding out next to whatever random person happened to sit next to him. How many stories have we heard from people now where they're like, yeah, I was at this tournament, I'm in the front row, I had a press pass, and I'm just watching, and this dude sits down next to me, and I turn, and it's frickin' Mike Morhaime.
You know, for all of us who work in the business world, we know how well CEOs can weasel their way out of a meeting. So the fact that he's there in person certainly says a lot. Speaking of press passes, though, you know what I'm getting a little sick of is, and this has nothing to do with StarCraft, just in general, all these people posting the sweet things they got for free by writing to a company.
I haven't seen any of this.
Well, you don't spend enough time on gaming Reddit because, oh my goodness, like, hey, I wrote to Red Bull and said I love their thing, and they sent me all this free stuff, and I'm like, did you really? First of all, you wrote a letter. I don't even believe that. First of all, because it's a modern era.
I believe that.
Then they actually sent you these piles of free things and giant cutouts and a free game, and
I believe it. I believe it. You hear this? I don't know. I don't think any of that is BS. A lot of, because you got to figure it is so rare that these companies actually get these kind of letters.
That's
why
true.
not? I mean,
and if they're all nerds like us, they geek over it and oh man, what can we send him back?
My favorite ever, and this is off track, but whatever, was, did you ever, back when Halo 4 came out, did you see the video that Bungie put out? Because some kid wrote them a proper letter about his not functioning Halo 4 disc. And the joke about all of this is Bungie didn't make Halo 4. 343 Industries did. So, one of the heads of Bungie's, they actually recorded a video response to this little kid's letter. And it was in a study with a leather armchair, and the head of Bungie is sitting there in a smoking jacket with a fake pipe, and he's just like,
please say that he did the whole, I didnn't hear you come in.
He did. It was wonderful. Good. And the funny thing was he's like, well, first of all, we didn't make the game, but we, we're very fond of Halo here, as we did, start the thing, and it's hysterical. Go look it up. They ended up sending him a copy of Halo 4, even though it's not their freaking game.
Well, I am gonna now do the required. Bungie has been brought up, and I am excited for Destiny.
Oh, damn it, sir! We're never gonna get to talk about this Mike Morhaime interview, are we?
Okay, we can go right now. Somewhere in between this show, I will interrupt you to talk about
We're both very, very excited for Destiny. We'll save that for the end. We'll do a little off-topic banter at the end after our call-in. Anyway, so Mr. Morhaime got to sit down with Team Liquid. It's a good interview. Make sure, we're going to hit some highlights here, but go over to teamliquid.net right now. It should be one of the very top posts in community news. And read the full interview because it's really good. Anyway, some of the highlights from this. One of the very first questions they asked him, what were you happiest with in WCS 2013? What were you not so happy with? And the thing that I thought was interesting is he said that he agreed with some of the criticism about region locking, and also that the handoff between OGN and GOM-TV between the WCS Korea seasons was, quote, a bit awkward. I'm just like, well, thank you for admitting it. That's putting it lightly.
Yes, everything he just addressed, those two main points, are definitely I am against higher taxes. And run for president, Mike Morhaime. You're hitting the big ones.
Right. I was still happy to,
yes,
without it being specifically asked, he's like, listen, these are things. So, because honestly, those were our two biggest complaints.
Yeah.
Go talk to Ben from A Move Radio, and he'll be like, no, I want region locking. I don't give a crap. Or I don't want region locking. They also went on to ask him what he thought of having the WCS finals at BlizzCon, and would they have it at BlizzCon every year if that was available. And this was,
I love this political statement.
Right. And this is a hot topic. This is something we brought up last week because of the survey we all got for attending BlizzCon about possibly separating the esports section from the rest of the con to cut costs and allow more people to see the esports tournaments.
Yeah.
Anyways, Morhaime said, regarding the future, I don't want to make any WCS-related statements related to other things we haven't announced yet. We haven't announced anything about BlizzCon in 2014 either, but I don't think there's a better spot to have the finals. And goes on to gush about the crowd and so on and so forth. And then they also said that that yes, they do like the single elimination tournament. Oh, sorry, that's something else. So
well, that
like
is
you
a part
said,
of it, though,
incredibly.
They took some flack in this last turn by having single elimination at your big final, which led to SOS taking it, which seemed kind of odd when you just lay out the points and think who should win here.
Also, because he won with nothing but freaking cannon rushes.
Yes, well, the man was extremely skilled as cheese. We can't deny that.
It was the most perfectly crafted cheese ever.
Yeah,
and
it was legit.
And man, just not that great to watch. Yeah, he said that despite some of the naysaying that they really do believe in the single elimination tournament, he said, quote, especially when we're able to seed it from the points that were earned over the course of an entire season. He said it's fairly common in other sports to use a single elimination format. So there is that. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean,
oh, it's probably just beautifully simple.
If it wasn't single elimination, they would have to bring what? They'd have to cut it in half. They'd have to bring like the top 8 instead of the top 16, so that they could have a losers bracket and all that jazz. Because as it stands as the single elimination, that tournament took up the entire day, both 2 days of BlizzCon.
Yeah, it was huge, and giving them that extra life would just keep it going. However, I do enjoy double elimination better.
Yes, I do. The closer we can get to just proper, never mind. Ignore me.
What, proper GSL? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, but they're not.
We need 4 people there, and that it.
Right, but they're not double elimination either, technically.
Right, they kind of have
drop
like
into
story.
Code A.
Yeah, I just love the story that happens over the course of a GSL day.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Double elimination is interesting because then, especially if the person who drops down to the loser's bracket ends up winning, because they have to just go through a freaking slog of games. But
yeah,
we pretty much got that with poor Jaedong.
Pretty much. The scheduling didn't work out that he got a break even without double elimination.
Guy freaking pretty much played games straight up until his incredibly crushing defeat.
Yeah. Exhausting.
Yeah. Moving on from the single elimination stuff, Team Liquid asked him, is the global final system you have now effective at reaching that goal? SOS's story isn't exactly one that represented the entire year. I'm like, yes, they brought it up. And then he just said, he played extremely well. He looked like he learned it, or earned it. Sorry. And it just I don't know. This is one of those answers where I was really excited to hear it, and it was just kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it was more politically correct than, hey, this is our tournament, shut up. And he said that in the nicest way possible.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about the whole point system at this point? Now that we've had one entire season or year of this done and finished, do you believe in the point system, or do you want to go back to this Wild West of everyone has their own damn tournament? You can pick and choose which one means the most to you.
No, that's kind of silly. I do believe that having a big global finals is going to be really healthy for the scene. It's going to motivate people to watch. It's going to get new viewers in when they normally wouldn't watch. So it's definitely something we should have. The point system, though.
I was really hoping you were going to say no, because I agree with you, and I was hoping we could argue about it. But damn it,
I'm sorry. Well, maybe you disagree with the point system, but I bet you're in the same camp as me. It's confusing. The numbers hold no value to me. But
right,
ultimately,
I mean,
those numbers need to add up over time, because if they don't, we have here's the winner from season 1 fighting season 2, and during those couple months, the scene could so wildly change, and theories could be so out the window, and dude who won season 1 may not have played until season 3 again against really good people. So you need that point system to make sure people actually keep up.
Well, Innovation played straight through, but Innovation is a good example of that. He did so incredibly well in season 1 that I was ready to erect a church in honor of his his Terran spirit. But then he just kind of he was consistent. He placed decent every season, but it was just kind of this gradual drop off, and he didn't perform all that well at the grand finals.
Right, and that was another one of those situations.
But he was number 1 in points. It was kind of silly to look at.
And we start going, he's perfect. There's no way anyone can defeat him. And then like these imaginary holes, because I don't know where they found them. But they found them and they took advantage of them.
They made them. They made them is what happened. They created holes. What was the reason behind removing the individual season finals? Which, if nothing else, this question brought up the fact that I missed entirely in their outline for next year that the season finals had been removed.
Oh, you missed that? Because
I missed
love
it
that
entirely
fact.
because I love it. Yeah, exactly. I'm so excited about this, and I don't know how I missed it when they announced all of the details for next year's WCS.
It was like when you're in a practice, or what I'm thinking of is like a music recital from when you're really young, and the teacher goes, "Oh my goodness, that was perfect. Let's do it again." And you're like, "Wait, but we just did it. We just found a winner right here, and now you guys want to have another one?"
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what Mike Morhaime kind of said, was that, listen, with the finals directly after the season, it didn't give enough time for the winner to enjoy being a winner. It was like, cool, you're awesome. All right, now everyone rush. Let's go. And also on top of that, he also mentioned that everything felt rushed as it got closer to those finals, because then all of a sudden these 3 separate regions had to be finished all by a certain time. Mm-hmm. And I agree with all this. I'm death to the season finals. See ya. Goodbye. It doesn't matter.
Yep, and that week or so where we're floating in limbo waiting for our actual season finals after finals just happened is time that other tournaments could take up, like DreamHack or IEM or hell, I don't know, maybe in some mythical world MLG.
Oh, I want to see more Red Bull. Their last event was
course.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, Red Bull's been knocking it out of the park for a while now.
Yeah. They also asked, like, because of WCS and all that, is that affecting Legacy of the Void's release schedule? and again, the political non-answer he said we're not ready to say anything about Legacy of the Void yet, but we understand the concern, and it's something we consider when releasing new content in StarCraft. So this makes me feel
there's those rumors flying around that Legacy of the Void's not even going to touch the multiplayer, and I'm not a fan of that.
This makes me feel slightly better about there being nothing at BlizzCon, because clearly they're nowhere near showing us anything about this damn game.
No.
Are any of those rumors you just mentioned substantiated? Because I haven't heard of any of that.
No, that's just it. It's just he says, she says. So
okay. So we should put absolutely no weight behind it whatsoever.
Nope, at least I hope not. That'd be really sad to have a multiplayer game have an expansion, not have anything for the multiplayer.
I don't see that happening. I think no, they're going to add something. They have to. If anything, I don't know, make the carrier and the battlecruiser useful. Do something to it where we see, actually see those things used.
We're increasing the speed of the Oracle. Didn't you hear, Garrett? You're good. Good to go.
And the final interesting point, as I ignore that entirely, was on the subject of StarCraft 2 going free to play, which my ears always perk up on this point. And here it is. He said that, StarCraft 2 multiplayer is effectively free to play with custom games, and that he doesn't think many people are going to go directly from watching the game and into the latter. He said, I think they may want to practice some games first. I think people can decide whether or not they like the game enough to purchase it by playing the free modes. Which
I thought about this, and I came up with a solution I'm happy with. Because I don't think the current free-to-play starter edition goes far enough, but I also don't want my campaigns to go away because I love them. I love experiencing the story, and a free-to-play game probably wouldn't have those anymore.
They could sell those as standalone content, though.
Right, that gets a little dirty, and I feel kind of messy doing that. I really like, the expansion model. I hate DLC. But when they were called expansions, I was into that. Maybe it's just arguing with the...
literally the same goddamn thing.
I know, but doesn't it feel more dirty?
No, it doesn't. It feels dirty because of this kind of like in the air bullshit from companies like EA. But Blizzard hasn't really screwed us over with DLC. Blizzard hasn't even really done DLC. So if their DLC was just an expansion, what do you care? If it was literally, let's roll it back, beginning of the year, Heart of the Swarm is coming out. What if they were just like, okay, you can just download the campaign for $20, $40 for the collector stuff. And if you get the exact same thing that you paid money for a box for, do you really
Petridge
care?
Farm remembers. Like, maybe I'm just being an old man.
So you're an old bastard on your front porch screaming, "Get off my lawn, Zergling," is what you're saying.
Exactly. When I buy an expansion pack, I am accepting the lower price due to the fact that they are using assets they have already made. But I am accepting that at the lower price, and I am assuming I am getting a full game. When I buy DLC, like there's a DLC I really want that I haven't picked up, which is the BioShock Infinite DLC.
Yeah, I want to get that one too,
stuff.
but I'm waiting for the second part to be out. I don't feel like playing it halfway through.
Oh, it's only, well, there we go. Like, just besmirching the name of DLC if there ever was a name to have.
That's why I don't. But that's not my challenge to you, sir. Is what if you get exactly what you got anyway? What does it matter what the delivery method is?
Right, and we figured this out together here, and it is the fact that I have been hurt before.
I've been hurt by box games. It's called SimCity, and EA should be crucified for it.
Oh, dude, way before that. Like, there are plenty of games I bought that I instantly regretted.
Oh, yeah. Well, StarCraft for the N64. I didn't touch an RTS for years.
Oh, my goodness. You bought that.
That was my first. I mean, it was like bargain bin, but
sure.
It was my first RTS, and I didn't touch a friggin' RTS until like junior year of high school when I bought Warcraft 3.
Oh man!
For the computer, they didn't make it for a console, but yeah, because I finally had a computer that could run the damn thing. But
mine was definitely one that comes to mind is Panzer Dragoon, PlayStation, Xbox, just normal Xbox.
Never played it.
You rode a dragon, you shot lasers. It was great. Lasted about 45 minutes and it was over.
You just described Star Fox 64.
Oh, but Star Fox, there was all those unlockable levels.
Yeah, but
even give it a little credit.
Even if so it was replayable in an insidious way. You had to literally restart the game to get some of those paths.
Yeah,
but I mean, I love that game. So
yeah, I played the shit out of that.
I played the living hell out of that game.
But anyway, what I was thinking would make me a lot happier with the free-to-play starter edition is if they actually, in the single-player mode, put custom game, like you could do in Warcraft 3. Because right now, you get in the starter edition, and if you've opened it up before, it is just a mess. And the arcade's a mess, and create your own game is a mess. I just feel like if you could hit single-player, create your own map, play against computer really quickly, then it'd be a lot more inviting.
That doesn't change it for me at all, but okay. I don't know. That doesn't affect my opinion in any way, shape, or form. I don't think that would. I don't see that as a positive.
When you lose the campaign, you lose any semblance of a training mode that Blizzard built in any degree.
You can play against AI.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Make that easier for people.
So you're just saying it needs to be redesigned to where it's more user-friendly.
Yeah, that could help.
Okay.
Those menus are a bit wacky. The whole arcade system is a bit
the custom
crunchy.
game arcade system is just straight up kind of bad, and it's been bad, and
it's been getting better over time. We can't say that they haven't made improvements because we now have previews before we click on a game. That's something that wasn't at launch, and I certainly enjoy when I'm looking at something going, oh, it was Battle Queens. Is this good? Could it be good?
All right, good point. I don't know. I mean, I slightly agree with Morhaime's statement here, but I still think just make the freaking ladder free to play. All of your competitors, your biggest competitors, the main major, what everyone's playing multiplayer is freaking free. Just make it free. I don't see any logical argument for why it's not.
Other than that, DLC, the name is ruined for the rest of us. And
don't call it DLC. Call it a digital expansion. Pull an apple. Here is something that's already been done, but we put an I in front of it.
Oh man, you just made it.
By the way, I
Giving out
love
ideas.
Apple. I realize that sounded really cynical to Apple. I'm a total Apple fanboy, but that is kind of. I mean, tablets existed before the freaking iPad.
Well, they call it an update, right?
Whatever.
Because then it adds a sort of required tone to it. That's its own world of evil.
Yeah. I don't disagree with Morhaime's statement. I just truly think the damn multiplayer game needs to be free to play. So
Fair enough.
there is that. Shifting gears now, quite a few months ago, I think this was back in August, we reported one of the League of Legends players being officially recognized as an athlete in the United States.
Yes.
And now one of our own, Violet, who's kind of been out of the limelight for an entire year, partially because of all this, is now the first StarCraft 2 player to be recognized by the U.S. as a professional athlete. So, really cool stuff. This is a great article and story over at the, it's just daily.com. Actually spell out D-O-T and then put a real .com. So you can actually go find it, or we'll have links in the show notes over at amove.tv/StarCast. But losing my voice there. Anyways, this is really awesome for Violet because now he can live here, he can compete here, and he gets to earn a salary in the U.S., according to this, for the next 5 years. Apparently, his goal is to become an American citizen, so this is a huge stepping stone to that.
I wonder if him becoming an American citizen and continuing to play could have anything to do with avoiding that required military service.
It's right in here. His representative said that it came down to him either getting this visa, and if it did not go through, he had to begin his required Korean military service.
Gotcha.
So, no, that's absolutely part of the reason.
Sure,
So,
don't blame him.
Yeah. Yeah. An awesome one of the quotes I really enjoy in here, it tells a lot of the stories that it says Kim being Violet, professional gaming career has been in limbo since he took a triumphant silver medal at the North American Star League in December of 2012. He was denied student visas to study English 3 times this year, which caused him to forfeit 3 times in the World Championship Series. And then they explain what the WCS is. We don't need to tell you what the WCS is. But, yeah, so that's why I haven't seen him too much this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have a feeling we're going to be seeing Violet in WCS America this upcoming year.
Yes. Well, damn, I mean, he's in that pool with Yu-Gi-Oh! And all the other Zergs from GSL that I'm just totally into.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. Clearly he's still in the game if this is something he's pursuing, so I'm curious to see how he does in 2014. It's like, I don't know, like he went into the training capsule in Dragon Ball Z or something. He just kind of disappeared, and then
With any luck.
then he comes out with tattered shirts and a longer ponytail.
Well, and the way is being paid, which is one of the most important things, that this is a athlete visa that is issued to computer game players.
Yeah.
And we got League of Legends, and now we have a StarCraft player. Who knows what other StarCraft players we can get and what future games might be available to actually do this with. And
Right.
it was funny, too. I was walking over the holidays, over Thanksgiving. I was walking through an airport, and they had poker on. And 4 of the 5 guys playing poker were Korean. And the little Korean flag in front. I'm like, geez, they don't stop.
That's funny.
But I'm not sure if you saw this. It was the new sort of elected officials. The pseudo-president in Korea is really cracking down on gambling in the youth. And she targets StarCraft and esports as one of these, youth gambling addictions.
I'm assuming there's more gambling in the traditional sense of what we think about it going on over there, because I mean a tournament isn't technically gambling.
Well, I'm sure to a stuffy office building full of politicians, you might as well be gambling your life playing esports, throwing away your future.
Yeah. No, I was reading something about that. I think it's a big thing in Japan as well, if I remember correctly.
They're really concerned about that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's why we don't see a lot of, StarCraft going on in Japan.
Well, it's probably a lot to do with the Asian culture, them going, strive, strive, strive. They're like, I'm going to strive in this. And they're like, no, strive in something else. Like, commit yourself. But don't commit yourself full. Like us Americans, we're always full of backup plans and dreams, but backup plans. Oh, that's a great goal. Wow, you should set that for yourself. Oh, what's your fallout?
We talk a lot about the differences between our culture and the South Korean culture, but I mean that isn't that different from over here. I mean, for example, me going to art school. There's a lot of people, you hear stories where they're just like, I'm going to go to art school, and everyone in their family going, no, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, both you and I are quite fortunate to have families that went, the arts, go for it.
Yeah, dear, my father is ex-military, and I can't believe how wonderful he was with that decision in my life. He's like, yeah,
he did grow up with you after all.
That is a good point.
Just walk. Hey, all the plays I've been putting on for you in the living room, Mom, over the many, many years of my childhood. I'm going to go into that profession. No. Where did you get these ideas?
I still hear tons of horror stories, but anyway, yeah, this is awesome, and everything I've read about the visa he's been awarded, it's literally no different than if he was coming here for baseball or football or basketball or whatever. It's like 1-to-1, exactly the same rights and whatnot.
And amazing for him. I mean, he was applying for student visas and couldn't get them, but now which he would have gotten over here, learned English, been able to study but not compete. So with the athlete visa, he can actually do both.
Yeah, that's absolutely that's really great. So good on him. I'm excited to see him play. DreamHack winner has come and gone. They just posted their results in terms of numbers, their ratings this past week, in a lovely little infographic that you can see in our show notes or over on the DreamHack website. But some of the interesting numbers from DreamHack winner is actual feet on the ground, actual physical people in the building. They had over 22,000 unique visitors to the DreamHack venue this winter.
These numbers at conventions just blow my mind, because I read a history text or listen to a podcast about it, and they're like, Caesar amassed 20,000 soldiers, and I'm like, my God, where do you get that many men? Like, oh, well, you just all have a common interest. You want to make a bunch of money and kill people, loot people. I guess you could get about 20,000 people. You can get 20,000 people together to watch esports, so why not?
It's still the number of 20,000 people in full armor with swords is a staggering and horrifying thought.
Yes.
But anyways, 8,000 plus of those people were participants who brought their own damn computers.
That is awesome.
Over what the hell? Over 8,000 people carting their freaking towers into a venue. That is
it must have been a madhouse.
Awesome. What is I don't think they showed this. Like, what was the wattage? What was their power draw like over that weekend?
That would have been an awesome
I would have loved to have seen that.
But you've seen the tables of the LAN party there, right?
Yeah, no, it's
incredible.
Yeah, think the pits where you get to go play games at BlizzCon and then multiply it by like 10.
Yep,
it's just insane stuff.
And they don't match. It's this wonderful home conglomeration of all of these different models and modes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They had over $478,000 awarded in prizes in the esports tournaments across all the different games. Had almost 3 million unique views online, 2,800,000 plus. That's just staggering. The largest peak stream apparently was the Dota 2 English stream on day 3. Had over 100,
the finals.
Yeah, had over 100,000 views. Number 3 was StarCraft, which with just below that, 96,000 and some change on the English stream. So StarCast still doing damn well.
Not doing bad.
Did I say StarCast? StarCraft. Not this show.
Well, StarCast isn't
never
doing
had
bad either.
96,000 viewers of anything.
It's interesting to then look at the champions and have them all listed out who won the big stuff, and they put StarCraft up front there. I guess because it's one guy taking all the rest are all like team photos, unless you're going to.
Yeah, well, if you went to the website when this was about to come up, StarCraft was still the front row center featured game.
Yeah,
DreamHack's real nice to the StarCraft scene.
It's great.
They're I don't know. I don't know. I'm biased. I really enjoy DreamHack.
Yeah.
I don't feel they're as flavor of the week as some other organizations that may or may not operate in the U.S.
They do seem to have an inherent passion about them that goes beyond these numbers.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, go check it out. If you haven't ever watched a DreamHack before, you're missing out. So, go enjoy that. Kyle, you pointed me.
You did say the power usage. It's not on here, but they do have the bandwidth usage, which is pretty ridiculous.
Oh yeah. This is a lot of other things we skipped over. I just getting the big stuff. Anyways, Kyle, you pointed me to a story this week about Blizzard in some legal hoo-ha over the acquisition of Blizzard.tv from another owner.
Yeah, so this is another one of those rumors. Blizzard has registered something, claims number FA0 blah blah blah. But according to them, they have registered intellectual property with a law firm, of Parker and Hale, if it matters, that they have bought a Blizzard.tv, which would make a lot of sense. I would certainly hope that this means that maybe they're setting up their own Twitch service, which would be amazing because we all know some of our woes with Twitch lately.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of a standard too. I mean, I'm really excited, for example, that GSL is finally just going to start streaming on Twitch.
Right. Yeah. No. And it's technology that's still pretty new. I mean, no one, you're not going to complain about something you don't have. I mean, tell everyone I want a touchscreen on the front of my phone and be like, well, your ear is going to touch it all the time, you dumbass. Nobody wants that. But then you give it to one person, and then they're all like, everyone gets touchscreens. So it's definitely a step in the future.
So,
and I would love
to sum up your thoughts, you just said, if it's good, I want it.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah,
and if Blizzard does it, I assume it will be good, and that I will want it.
Yeah, this article on fusible.com, fusible.com, says that Blizzard doesn't often file disputes. Apparently, the last time they filed a dispute was in 2011 over the domain worldoflordcraft.com.
What?
I don't know, man.
I got to find this. Oh, well, Blizzard bought it, and they just kind of keep a nice little placeholder on it. Man, I want to know.
It's probably
is this like the Chinese,
that theme park that they opened up? That's totally Blizzard stuff.
Exactly. It's just this big knockoff pile.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you there, man. I wouldn't expect a game from them called Lordcraft anytime soon. I think it was just too close for comfort, and they didn't want someone else sitting on it.
Oh, it's one of those free-to-play sort of spritey, weird, big boobs looking at you MMO things.
We need to do an A-Move Radio where we talk about how utterly sick I am of those freaking side ads everywhere.
Well, as long as they complete their sentences, I'm okay. It frustrates me to hell that when it's like, don't let your girlfriend catch you playing this, or where are all the men gone? Check this out. But when it's just like, you'll never believe when Justin Bieber... And I'm like, what? Well, what'd he do? I don't really want to know, but you got to finish your statement.
At least give me a period so I know what I'm not caring about.
Exactly.
Yeah, wonderful. But I'm so sick of those freaking male gamers only. I'm like so utterly offended that because I know somewhere out there's someone like, hell yeah, and clicking on it, and I'm just like, oh my God, no one should ever be catering to these people.
Right, or like lesbians, just like put a little asterisk there, or lesbians who also enjoy breasts, and gay men, they love breasts. They're always copping feels because they can get away with it. It's not fair.
All right. I have no way to segue out of this nicely, so I'm just going to go on to... Liquid Hero is heading over to Pro League with the help of Team Incredible Miracle. They're partnering up with Team Liquid. And yeah, they're sending Hero. He's going to be training at the IM house, and he'll be competing in the upcoming Pro League season.
Sweet. This sort of stuff always happens during this time of year. So people moving around, getting set up, alliances being made for now.
Yep, until it becomes Game of Thrones and Hero is shot dead in the middle of a banquet hall.
Oh, well, I guess we don't really kill people in the scene. We just kind of forget about them. So you just kind of shove them in the trunk.
Most of them end up joining the Korean military.
Yep. That's kind of our red wedding. No one dies.
Stop talking now. So yeah, good for him. I'm stoked. That's a good was a good matchup there. So, all right, let's get into some tournament results. This past week, we had Shoutcraft America Winter. Had a $5,000 prize pool. This was that tournament that was specifically North American, and the players were chosen from the top spots in the Grandmasters ladder ranking.
Yes.
Yeah, you were talking about it a little bit last week, and freaking awesome. Huck won.
Yeah, we talked about this maybe a month ago now, but he always takes a lot of little tournaments from the side. People love to give him crap about not taking the big ones and who's funding your salary and why do they still keep you, blah, 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 about Huck. But if you look him up...
It's because if you haven't been paying attention, there's still a lot of North American tournaments, and he's still kicking trash.
Yep. He takes quite a few of them.
Yeah. And then, like, everyone else I'm looking through, and I'm, like, not familiar with half of these damn players. Like, I realize they're all on teams with not names I'm familiar with. So, I might as well be looking at the results of a Hearthstone tournament, because I've been doing that a lot lately, and I'm just like, man, look at all these people that I don't know of, or man, this is where all those StarCraft players went.
I bet. Yeah, I've looked at those lists too, and just been... Well, I've been daunted, because we've been following StarCraft for so long, you assume that, okay, well, I don't know this name. But it could just be a guy on the Korean ladder who had like a free week and came over here and like spent a few days, got himself in GM and got himself in the top 100, whatever. But you know that the Hearthstone one, I remember Dill saying something about having to play like 2,000 games to get in that list.
Oh, you're talking about the top 50 ranked or top 100 ranked? Yeah. Blizzard puts out a top 100 every week. And
yeah, for Hearthstone.
It's staggering. Apparently the freaking stories of people who say like they've got like a 98% win ratio and they haven't made it into the top 100. It's just ridiculous. But
right, and then Blizzard saying things like you have to play 200 ladder games or win 200 ladder games in order to participate in WCS next year, and all the StarCraft players are like, what? Oh my god, I can't possibly do that.
Well, Hearthstone games are way quicker.
Yeah,
like
true. And a lot less stressful.
We talked about at the top of the show about StarCraft being a lot faster than Dota in terms of a game completion, but Jesus, like Hearthstone, especially in the current meta, the whole game is just aggressive as hell.
Well, not in my turns anyway. I think I'm one of those guys people get mad at.
Well, at most you can only take 2 minutes, so.
I guess that's true. I'm just looking at my hand and going, oh, the possibilities.
Well, that's the interesting things about the Hearthstone tournaments, because when you play a friendly game, there's no timer. So like sometimes you'll just be sitting there and this person cannot make up their mind. So enough Hearthstone talk. Go check out the Angry Chicken for that. GSL Hot Number 6 Cup. I hate that their name is Hot 6. It sounds every time I say it, it never sounds right.
You can never not think of having some Hot 6.
Yeah, exactly. Hot, steamy 6. Of which Rain took the first place in. He
loves Hot 6.
just shy of $19,000 as a prize. This was the GSL tournament that was made up of like the runners up of WCS Korea. Was this how many were in this again? I think it was another 8 players, or was it 16?
Let's see here. We had only
8 players. Okay, so very similar to the lineup on Shoutcraft America. It was an 8-player tournament as well.
Well, that's a shame, because this was basically our King of Kongs, but they didn't name it that, so I didn't check it out.
Oh, well, I mean, that's the glory of VODs.
Yeah.
Go and rewatch it. Although, like the King of Kongs, is it a separate charge? Is it not included in our year-long subscription?
Probably not.
Probably not, yeah. I don't think I've ever watched the King of Kongs for that very reason. But anyways, the tournament of which I thoroughly enjoyed the finals of was Asus ROG NorthCon 2013, which took place this past week as well. The finals were between Jaedong and Scarlett. What a great matchup, first of all, because these two people, they're friends. They train together.
Yeah, this had a great story. And of all the casters that really gets into backgrounds, I feel like Caldor is the one to go to. If anything else, you just need him around at every tournament just to be the gossip man. Because he really gets it. I love the way he lines things out like that.
Yeah, well, and his co-caster was freaking grubby I always enjoy getting someone who's still a current player casting, because you hear like I feel like I can buy into them telling me what's going through the players' heads more than anyone else.
Well, and not only that, it's the difference between, oh, here's something we see a lot, blankety blank, but when Grubby does it, it's like, and here, you just hear like the disappointment or the struggle he knows that is going on in that game.
Yeah. Or the excitement when he sees something being set up really well.
Yeah. Or freak accents like we had in this game. It was his EVZ, so there was tons of Baneling hits, and many of them were quite detrimental. So to hear him really react to those was great.
Yeah. But it was really good. I haven't watched like a good ZVZ in a while. I had forgotten how cutthroat they are. I mean, Jesus, all of these games, like almost all of them, just open up with just freaking just speedling on speedling with like one Baneling that they're just guarding like that Urukai for carrying the torch to the freaking Helm's Deep. Oh man, this was fun to watch. I just had a good time with this. I mean, you saw these games too. I think if you go into the StarCraft dictionary and you look up the term mirror match, that this game needs to be cited.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Because the first 3 games, almost all of them actually, but the first 3 games especially, it was just like no deviation, both players doing exactly the same frickin' thing, point for point, supply for supply, second by second.
It even came down to a point where they were like, oh, and Scarlett got her speed 3 seconds earlier. She's taking advantage of it right now, and now it's over.
Exactly. That's how close it was, that there was casting like that taking place. It was really good. And I made the joke to you earlier today, Kyle, that just like chess, these games came down to the queens.
Yes, they did. And sniping queens was really not like winning queens, big old ultralist pushes with queens behind. No, it was more like, did you get in there? Did you kill a queen? You win.
Good for yeah, exactly. The first couple of games, man, Jaedong was just getting up in Scarlett's base, and every time he didn't leave until like a queen was dead. It was like his mission. Yep. Just like, strike team 1, is the queen down? Yes. All right, extract.
We're all dead, sir. Oh, we got a queen. Oh, it's a good strategy.
It is, and her production suffered as a result of that. Also,
Drones be damned, but there was that wonderful point where Scarlett attacked a Jaedong base, got something like 25 drone kills in one go.
He didn't realize he was under attack. I mean, I'm not sure it was ever 100% confirmed, but there's no excuse as to why you just let Zerglings run amok in your mineral line.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was interesting watching. Scarlett was just like slightly greedier, especially in game 2, because it was so neck and neck. And Scarlett's just like, I think I can sneak a drone here, and the one drone set her behind in the Zergling count, and it was over. It was just so weird to watch. Man, when Scarlett gets mutas, it's like when the piece of kryptonite falls out of Superman.
And he lifts the whole island, but it's
stop referencing that terrible movie.
It's all I have to go off of, other than Justice League, which was okay with Superman.
Justice League was pretty good.
I enjoyed the whole Superman's super weakness is that he can't fight as good as he really can. I'm like, oh, it finally comes out. His one weakness, he can't be as powerful as he actually is. Poor bloke.
Go read Kingdom Come. God damn it. So go watch his finals. It's really good.
The mutas were incredible, and there were so many piled on top of each other, just flying around. I don't know if that Spore Crawler change helped.
It didn't one game. One of the last games, I think it was the final game that Scarlett won. They both muta clouds of even everything engaged, and there was just one of Scarlett's freaking Spore Crawlers that didn't get sniped off until later in the engagement, and Scarlett got ahead real quick. I
think she also had armor when he didn't in that fight, though.
Okay, that might have been it. But I mean, eventually the Spore Crawler was taken out, but I think it was too little, too late.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. And then in one of the final games, I mean, Jaedong eventually ended up winning the series, but in one of the final games, it was interesting watching Scarlett be the aggressor that Jaedong had been in the first couple of games, taking off queens and whatnot. Scarlett gets into Jaedong's natural and tries to go snipe a queen, and all of a sudden there's just 3 more queens on top of him. It's like, wow, okay, he's way better about defending his queens than Scarlett was, apparently.
Yeah, they got stuck in some weird positions, but it's tough to keep those buggers alive.
Yeah, it is. And if you want to see something deviate from what the most of the series was, watch Game 5, because you get to see a tsunami of roaches just walk over Scarlett to end the game. It was absurd.
Oh,
yeah, it looked like a mono battle for a good portion of the game. It was ridiculous.
Well said.
But Scarlett eventually got out some hydras, and it was different. But man, the first few minutes of that game, it was like, am I watching mono battles? Because it certainly feels like it.
Oh, we selected the wrong map. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, good finals. Go check it out. We got links to the spoiler-free SC post with all of the VODs for all of Asus ROG. So go check that out. Before we end the show, we have a call-in this week from DiscRax. If you'd like to reach us at StarCast, you can email us at starcastshow@gmail.com, or you can call the StarCast line at 941-882-0281. Leave us a message, and we'll play it on the show, just like this one.
Hey, it's DiscRax calling in. On 174, you guys were talking about having BlizzCon being split into an esports and a BlizzCon event. And I have to tell you, that is super exciting for me. So, we went a couple of years ago, and day one, I actually did the BlizzCon experience, where I went and sat and played games and met personalities and looked at the new stuff. And then day two, I camped out the esports pit, and I was the guy who got there first, ran to the third row, got 6 seats, and sat there the entire day until everything was done, so that all the people that I knew, including yourself, got to hang out and sit with me without having to worry about getting seats and whatnot. So I would love to be able to spend 2 days doing the BlizzCon stuff, and then maybe the third day being all of the esports events, or maybe the third and fourth day being the esports events. That sounds really appealing to me, and I do agree with Kyle that the BlizzCon pass should get you both, and there should be just an esports only one. So that's my 2 cents, and I think that's a really cool idea, and that would actually make it much easier for me to justify going out and doing it and justifying the expense. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. Keep up the great work. Bye.
Thank you, Discretion. You know what I would really appreciate? If you could not call us from Wind Tunnel, that'd be wonderful.
Oh, that was a great call.
No, it was. He makes a really good point, which is why I played it. And
actually, he probably has a car like I have. You get in some cars, and it is just soundproof, and it's beautiful. And you're like, am I actually driving? Am I going to die because I miss the honk of a horn? But other cars, you get in there, and you're like, are all the doors and windows open? Because this thing's made of paper.
My Mustang was delightfully quiet inside. My Prius is pretty good. My girlfriend Katie's car seriously sounds like there's nothing. You can hear everything. Right? It's so loud.
Do we have mics on the road here? Because I'm hearing the gravel.
So this is what it's like to be the Flintstones. Anyways, to Discrax's point, talking about how he's a martyr of saving seats at
yes, he is.
At that time it was the GSL finals.
Well, he's had some experience. He is a dad, after all. So he's already entered the martyr field. He's probably saved a few seats in his life, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So he's saying, like, do it not even simultaneously. Like, do it on, like, a third day or something. And as long as it's still as long as it's, like, right after or right before, I think I'd be okay with it. Although, just the way they do BlizzCon and the way they, like, the gravity that Blizzard clearly wants BlizzCon to have, I don't think there's any way they're going to have the closing ceremonies and not be there and just be like, look at the winner from this game and that game and all of the money we gave away. I don't think that'll ever happen.
But you know what? If they actually found like a really, really sweet way to lay it out, I mean, DreamHack has some cool stuff, some great presentation. This past, 2 weeks ago now, the Red Bull, all lasers, the big GG flashing, the sort of walkway heading into the audience. Yeah, we had that. But if you really embrace some really cool staging and make it worth your while, it could be really cool.
Yeah. If they're going to have a dedicated day for esports, I think the only way they can do it is to have it be like the first day and then have BlizzCon be day 2 and 3 or something.
Yeah, so everyone's hoarse for the rest of BlizzCon, rather than throwing at the end where we're already tired.
No, exactly. That way you get no more dumb questions when they take questions from the audience. It's only people who really have something they need to say.
My disappointment would really come heavy if we split it up and we were still in a convention hall. Like, get a theater for that. If you want 400, 1,000 people sitting there all day watching it, let's get some cushioned seats that fold down.
Oh, please. Thank you, for the love of God. Yeah, that's good. I didn't see her. I was like, just because the International 3 did it? No, now I get your point. Yes. Please.
Assigned seating. Like, let's make this, a full... we're going to see Cirque du Soleil or Les Mis.
We'll get an A-Move TV balcony.
That would be awesome.
The party balcony. Everyone's all rowdy up there. Buddha snuck in a flask of hard hooch.
I love that you called it hooch. And I believe if he would bring something, it would be hooch. But balcony seats are really small. Maybe you're thinking of like when you go to a sports multiplex and they have the big old rooms up there, because those are rather spacious. You can have a nice buffet laid out. An actual box at a theater, those are pretty small. Most you can do there is get, I went and saw
a Broadway play a few months ago, and the balconies there were massive. It was like 16-seat balconies.
Oh, wow.
You could have like full parties. It probably just depends on the venue, but
sure.
The point is, I agree with you. Let's do it. And I to a point, I totally agree with Discorax. Although Discorax, next time you do this, it sounds like with all of the other people you were holding seats for, you should have like shifted off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure he got to get up and use the restroom once or twice, but
I hope. No, he just don't drink. It's not Gatorade. Don't drink that.
Well, Discorax is very, very fortunate that, first of all, he has a very loving face. You see the man, you go, that is a nice man. Because I'm sure he had to deal with so many people sitting in that third row all day holding 6 seats. You madman. Probably got asked 100 times. More than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we stopped by multiple times that day, and there were always these 2 other dudes there, it seemed like.
Yeah.
At least when I came by, but
with the cooler.
That feels like eons ago now.
Well, it was 2+ years ago?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Wow. Anytime you get another BlizzCon between a previous BlizzCon, then it feels old. Until then, it feels like it just friggin' happened.
Until then, we can keep saying last BlizzCon.
Exactly. So, anyways, Discrax, you have a very friendly face. You should become a con artist because no one will distrust you.
No.
All right, thanks for your call, and again, you can send in questions, comments, email, MP3 attachments, starcastshow@gmail.com. I think that'll do it for today's episode. Tune in next week for our final episode before we take a break for Christmas. That'll be episode 176. So there is that. StarCast.
That was very Mandarin of you.
Very what?
That'll be episode 176.
They'll never see me coming. I can't decide if I had a really good time when I went to go see Iron Man 3.
We all did.
But when I think about it, it enrages me.
We're all a little disappointed, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's like the Star Trek movies. You're like, damn, that's silly. But hey, they made a great thing out of a lemon, so what am I going to
Yeah, the weirdest part is like the shit with him stuck in the podunk town with the kid was like my favorite part of the movie, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I think that was well done.
Oh my! That is such a line. Like, to me, if I'm writing a script, which I'm not, I'm not writing movie scripts, but if I were to, there's some bridges I just wouldn't even cross or even like stand tentatively on the edge of. And one is like your established superhero hanging out with a little kid the whole time. You're just walking in a danger zone. Frozen, the most recent one, the snowman. It's like, why did you eat? Like, you did it. You did great, Disney. But why did you even like teeter on that edge when it's so dangerous?
Still haven't seen it, and The Hobbit is out this weekend, so I don't think I'm going to see it anytime soon.
Oh, I've heard that this one is actually really good. I had no issue with the first one.
I loved
but some
the
people
first
hate
one. I loved it.
The whole goblin underground thing was really goofy.
Oh,
and that
man,
took
I
me
loved
out of
it. I don't care. I thought it was so awesome.
When they're running and the one bridge gives out and there's another bridge under, I'm come on. That's a little convenient. A little wacky.
Yeah, I don't care. I just love the set design in that movie. Also, when I hear the Shire music start, I tear up a little. It is a manly tear. I don't care. I'm not gonna hide the fact that I'm emotionally affected by the music in The Lord of the Rings.
I just got a shiver down my back that you even brought it up.
Okay.
That's not quite doing it justice.
I'm really stoked for it. Anyways, let's end the show. StarCast, as always, is a production of amove.tv. You can find this and many other awesome shows like A-Move Radio with Kyle and myself and Ben Zweifel, or The Angry Chicken if you want to hear way, way more Hearthstone talk than the little tidbit we talked about today. That is the destination for that. You can find more about this specific show at amove.tv/StarCast. We record live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/amovetv. Our VODs are at youtube.com/StarCastShow. And you can catch the podcast on the Frog Pants Studios Ultra feed at frogpants.com. As previously mentioned, the email is starcastshow@gmail.com. Our voicemail line is 941-882-0281. Follow us on Twitter at the StarCast. You can follow me at Garrett Art. Kyle is at Kyle Fergusson. And a big thanks to our podcast producer, Captain Newbing. My last personal pimp, check out nomoonart.com for my graphic design work. I freelance doing graphic design for a living, so go check out the site. It's my portfolio, and if you need some work done, shoot me an email. I'd be glad to be hired by you. It'd be really cool. And a lot of you are nerds, so I get to draw and paint like StarCrafty UI things over your stream, and it makes me happy. So check that out. Kyle, where can people find you? You are muted. You're so muted.
I'm so muted.
You are so very muted.
I messed up.
It's okay.
New mistake. You can find me at Biggest Fan Podcast, where we follow the fad that's driving you mad. And this past week, I was driven mad by sickness. Episode did not happen. But the next episode will be Korra. Just finished up season 2, so we're going to do a Korra in review episode before we hit the end of the year review, which is always a lot of fun. We look back at all the topics from every week of this previous year and update you on what's changed about them, if our opinions have changed on them. Some opinions, I can assure you, have not changed.
Awesome. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, dogcastsystems.com, tweakedaudio.com, and se2quoteoftheday.com. Our code is StarCast, and that'll get you double memory on your next Dogcast Systems gaming rig. That same code will get you 30% off and free shipping off of your entire order from tweakedaudio.com. And make sure to download the SE2 Quote of the Day app. Just search for QOTD on the iOS or Android App Store, and you can download it there. We thank them for their support, and we thank you for listening. We will be back next week for another StarCast. Until then, good luck and have fun.
Take care.